All right. So this match review comes from Blade1213, who has been playing since 2019. They do not have their eyes on him, but they've been playing since 2019. So they've been playing longer than me. Maybe not as many hours, but they played before I started, because I started in early 2020. So yeah, they they said in the description, thank you for my first match review. It helped a lot. And you're welcome. I'm glad. I'm going to be playing Nurse. I used to play her when I first started playing in 2019, but I haven't played her since. There's any ballerina lessons in this one. Yeah, because you were spinning so much in the original one. Oh, it's funny. Awesome person in this community. I'm glad. I'm glad it, like, that's what I want. I want it to actually be helpful and fruitful. So I'm glad it actually was for you. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Hey, Gung Ho, how's it going? How are you, homie? How is your Monday? Pale Rose, very disgusting map that nobody likes. I've met one person who likes Swamp, and it's because they play Magic and they like that their black decks are their favorite. So the mana for black decks is Swamp. That's literally their reasoning. So that's funny. Let's get this into HD. 1080 HD. Your build's fine. Your build's great. Nothing to say about your build. Literally perfect. You have info. You have 2 slowdown. Guess you just guess somebody over there. Yeah, your build's perfect. I would say nothing about your build. Your add-ons are fine too. Especially if you're learning Nurse. Yeah, you were doing just fine. You saw them running around the back. You know they're back there. So you see their scratch marks. You see their scratch marks hugging the wall at the top. And you kind of lose track of them because you assume they're just going to go towards the gen, which is a good assumption. But the scratch marks are going up against the wall up here. That's where they're headed. And for some reason, you don't track that correctly. Which is not to say, like, oh, how dare you? But, like, we all track incorrectly a lot. It happens. But I think they're just up there hiding. So you should have checked up there first. They went up there initially. Top rework 2023. Yeah, I don't know how, like, I'm surprised they did Red Forest over Swamp because I do not enjoy Swamp. You're doing a smart thing here in the sense that you are, oh, by the way, unlike with like Legion and other characters, you typically don't want to swing after blinking when there's, at least that's what I've heard nurse main say. Don't swing after blinking with nurse because of the fatigue problem. I know you have the add-on, but like it's a good habit to not have once you, because the brown horse add-on is good for training wheels while you're learning the character, but it's something you're going to eventually take off, so you should probably shouldn't get comfortable swinging and missing a bunch, you know? It's barbecued, so I could easily find people. Use an info perk. It doesn't matter which one you use. You could use Floods, you could use Barbecue, you could use Disco Dance. You saw her right here. Yeah, you saw her, but you swing at the gem. Yeah, you see her right here, right in front of you. And you have your extra blink. Why do you not just blink and hit her and just assume she's on the gem? Yeah, just some sort of info. That way you can keep the flow of the match going. Did you not see? Did you not see her? The way you're looking around, I'm guessing not. So, immediately, I saw scratch marks go up into the wall. You don't see who that was. And now there's somebody literally right in front of your face that you have lost as well. So your tracking probably needs some work. Use the ones you like, yeah. It kind of depends on your playstyle. Like, I like barbecue because I like having info directly after I end a chase and hook someone. Whereas some people like having info during chase, which is like more like floods. She's behind you. Yeah, your tracking needs work. That's the main thing right now. It's okay to blink and not swing. Like, it's okay to blink, get a little bit, like, just a half second of understanding of your surroundings, and then blink after that. Her without add-ons, her window to blink again is pretty restrictive, but it's not as restrictive as you think it is. So I would kind of like not just blink throw your attack, you know? Like I would hesitate, kind of look around. Yeah. Yeah, throwing has a heck of a cooldown. It's not even that good. It's not that good of a thing. That wasn't the person you were going for, but that's incredibly funny that somebody was there. That's actually very hilarious. Yeah, you swing every single time that you blink, and you don't have to do that. I love making noises. Without kick perks, there's no reason to dry kick here. Without kick perks, there's no reason to dry kick here because there's multiple people around, both Kate and Meg, which means somebody's going to be able to very quickly undo that dry kick. Dry kick's only 2.5%. The survivor can undo that in like 2 seconds, just by running up, tapping it. And if there are multiple survivors around, which you know for sure there are, odds are they're just going to tap it and undo it. So it's just a waste of time to kick right here. Unless you had something like overcharge or pop ready or something like that, you know. Also, your nurse. You don't care about pallets. Don't kick pallets. You're a nurse. Unless they have lithe and you know that for sure, like, you're a nurse. You don't care about obstacles. No, leave that pallet. You know she's... Okay. Yeah, your tracking needs incredible work. Because you knew she was down there. You heard her down there, like, panting and yelling. Like, just a second ago. Going, ah! But you also didn't pursue her. I don't know if you're just feeling, like, pressured because you had a slow start to the game. But you're also not sticking to any of your chases. I'm also noticing you're trying to hit all of your blink attacks on your first blink. Which is not what nurses do. Not even really, really good nurses do that. That one of the strengths of Nurse, and that makes her one of the most powerful characters in the game, is not only the fact that she can go through walls and hit people, but the fact that if you mess up your first blink, she just has a second one. That she could just immediately undo her mistake. That's actually one of people's main complaints about Nurse. Is that despite, you know, the fact that you can miss a blink, you have two, so you could just, even if you don't correctly guess where somebody is on the other side of the wall, you can just recorrect with your second one. I'm not seeing you recorrect anything. You're just putting all your eggs in one basket and praying that your first blink hits them. Use your second blink to correct your mistake. You don't have to swing your first blink. Use your second blink to correct your mistake. If you don't see somebody there, don't swing. There's really no reason to do that. Just a waste of time. And time in EBD is gen time. Match time is gen time. There ain't no reason. Oh yeah, that's just a thing you do. But I've already talked about it. That was a good guess. That was a good guess. That's one of the things about Nurse is Nurse is a character that you get more return on investment the longer you play Dead by Daylight, period. Because a lot of the blinks, I can only play her once a month because of like, well, I played her twice this month already. But like, she makes me motion sick, so I have a hard time playing her. But one of the reasons I consistently do well with her, despite only playing her once or twice a month, is because I just know how survivors loot. From both the killer and survivor perspective, because I'm a 50-50 gamer now. I know where people like to be and where they like to go, so even if I physically can't see it, I can just, you know, blink to that location, because I'm like, okay, most likely they're going for this pallet. Most likely they're going for this vault. And a lot of that is what goes into being a good nurse. Like, a lot of nurses can just blink right on top of people based on just tracking them well, but a lot of nurses also get their hits just because they make a very, very good educated guess on where the survivors are going, and they're right most of the time. So that's another big aspect of it. Oh. Yeah, that's why you don't really, with Nurse, you try not to look down while you're blinking in multi-floored areas. You kind of want to aim slightly up while you're near like a basement or like on the boat where it's 2 floors. Somebody was right beside you. If she didn't blink, you wouldn't even have known you heard her feet padding like right next to you. And if she hadn't clicked, I guarantee you wouldn't have turned around. She was right there. If she hadn't BM'd you, you would have no clue she was there. There you go. See, you case in point, without seeing where she was, you were like, yeah, the only thing you could realistically do here is vault the window. Oh, how did you mess that up? Flashlights are so easy now. How did they mess that up? Yeah, you made the guess on like, okay, well, realistically, the only thing she could do is vault, so I'm just gonna blink to the window. And see, it worked. Good guess. Once again, you see her. Why do you swing there? Are you just not looking? I don't mean that to be rude in any way. I legitimately don't mean that to be like, how dare you, you're so dumb. I'm not trying to say that. But like, you see her right here. Why do you swing anyway? You've done this the entire game where you're like guessing where people are when you physically see on the screen that they're not there. Like, you know she's not camping this pallet. She's literally on your screen to the right. Why do you swing here anyway? That's just interesting to me. Yeah, you gotta blink a little bit more to get past it. It's annoying. That's a nurse thing you'll get used to. I still slip up with that sometimes. I'll be like, wow, I didn't really get through that object? Yeah, that's just a nurse thing. You'll get used to that. Like, there's a good example. It's like, there's no feasible reason she would stay on the Pride Rock with no resources. Like, why would she stay there? There's nothing for her there. I love that tech. It's so fun. It's just blinking straight in front of the pallet and be like, okay, vault it. Yeah, there's no feasible reason that she would want to stay on Pride Rock. Of course she would keep moving. But you still stayed as if she would stay there. But that's like I said, that's a character that comes with more dividends as you get better. Yeah, once again, like I'm hearing these characters on your screen before you do. I heard her little foot pats in the mud because, you know, sorry for smacking. Like, swamp is just, you know, that's just how it sounds when Spiders walk around. Like, I keep hearing them, and you're missing this entirely. I don't know if you play on speakers with the volume low or you have the play with headphones volume down. I would crank your volume up, brother. I would crank your volume up because there are people literally right next to you that you are not hearing. Like, literally, like, they are close enough that they could probably reach out and hold your hands, and you have no clue they're there. And that's not good. You just got a little excited there. Oh, that's unfortunate. I always find it interesting that Dead Hard is so good at circumventing the best killers in the game. Like, that's always funny. That's always been a thing. Okay. That was you making a guess on which way she would dodge, but you were just wrong. Which happens. That's not a you problem. You should let your 2 blinks come back here. I don't think you will, because you're not too much invested in using double blinks. Oh, that should have hit her. I don't think that's your fault. I don't think that's your fault. I thought you got robbed there. Yeah. Because you're trying to leave because you spent too much time in the chase. I think it's smart. See, like, look at this. Look at this. Perfect. Do that all the time. Do that more. You used your first blink to blink up, surveyed your surroundings, noticed that she wasn't there, and then you blinked down to the closest resource where she was probably going, which was the pallet downstairs. Perfect. Perfect. Chef's kiss. Perfect. Do that. Do that. Do that. That was, everything about that sequence was literally perfect. And if you did that with all your chases, this match would be going great for you. Do that. Blink first. Survey. She's not here. Where is she probably going? Nearest resource. Blink there. Free hit. Do that all the time. See, I always feel like, I don't know how I feel about plaid flannel for learning nurses. Like, especially if you've never ever touched the character before and you have no concept of how it works, yeah, probably throw on plaid flannel. Or so many players end up crutching on it that it's kind of just, I feel wary recommending it, you know, because players will start crutching it and then they have to like almost like relearn blinks after they take plaid flannel off because they relied so much on seeing it. Yeah, because that's what they're, yeah, Daddy, because you have to relearn essentially. See, now you're back to just blinking and swinging instead of correcting with your second blink. Yeah. She got that flying. It's funny. Yeah, but focus on the visual, but people do. That's the problem we're into. Like, ideally, yes, but people do focus on the visual. And they crutch on it. Ooh, that was a good prediction. That was a good slow blink. That was good. You should have hit that, but, you know, you're just still learning the character. Good guess. That was a good guess. But, like, once again, that's why you need both your blinks and not just one. Like, that's what I'm saying, is, like, it doesn't matter if she didn't end up actually vaulting that window, because if you blinked first, waited a millisecond, went, okay, she didn't actually vault it, she's across from it, and you just use your second blink and just go across the window and hit her. That's why my main suggestion for like nerfing nurse while still retaining her power is to have entity blockers on resources while she's blinking, because realistically that's just a free down and there's nothing that Jill can do about it. Or not free down, but a free hit, and that Jill can't do anything about it, because even though you messed up the first blink, you could just go through the window with your second blink, but you're so spam happy with trying to hit them with your first blink that you've just basically thrown almost every chase the entire match because you just want to use your first blink only. That hit. Wow. Yeah, they're right in front of you. No reason to blink. Well, that was a perfect blink. Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, you're getting it. You're getting it. And you still blinked a second time just to be sure. You're just like, just in case. That's fine. Especially while learning the character. Good job trying to hook. Well, this isn't really your fault. Usually you want to hook them away from the door, but you downed them in the area where it's between the doors, so that's not your fault. Nothing you can really do about that. She's gonna be close to the doors either way, which sucks. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. That wasn't an error on your part. Just where the doors were positioned. Once again, do you hear Meg? Or do you? Do you actually hear Meg? You hear her. Yeah, this is... Good job, good job. Proper. Oh, you can do that too. Yeah, you got a down situation. You got a double down situation. That's fine. Okay. This is also fine. It would have resulted in the same situation. I should expect them to mess up that way. Yeah, don't pick her up. Force her to crawl away. Well, hey, Riven, how's it going? How are you, homie? How's your Monday? We're chilling. We're just doing a match review right now. Oh, okay. Okay, you can try to, like, do a little fake-out thing, but because of... Okay. Yeah, you shouldn't... Either you should have committed to the face camp, or you should have... That was just indecisiveness. You should have committed to the face camp, or not do anything at all. That was just indecision. Yeah, there's not really a safe place to hook her that they can't get her from either side. Either she's next to that door or the other one. But she's dead, so it doesn't matter. I realized the K was on death. Dude, I gotta miss stuff all the time. That's another thing. People are like, you know. That's why I don't try to go super hard on people when they don't realize something sometimes, because I'm like, I didn't know that K was on death, you know, and I was watching the match. Sometimes you just miss stuff. It's okay. Yeah, you'll get used to that. Always, like, for that, I would always err on the side of going, like, if you're going through an object, it's better to overshoot than to undershoot. Because as you're seeing undershooting, it means you just, like, don't end up through the object and it just looks silly. Always err on the side of over blinking than under blinking. When it comes to going through objects, at least. I don't think it really matters what they brought here, because you're the best character in the game with 2 slowdown, 2 info. Realistically, there's... I mean... Oh. See, they have... I see... Okay, that's fine. It's pretty good, but fine. 1 prove. Yeah, these two, both the K and the Jill had pretty strong builds, but nothing crazy, and there's 1 prove in the match. Alright, so, like, first thing that I want to let you know is that your tracking is very poor. I don't mean that like a how dare you or I hate you, you stink sort of way. Your tracking is very bad. I don't know if it's like that while you play other killers, because you said you're trying to specifically learn Nurse, but your tracking is really bad. There were several situations where characters were right next to you and you audibly could have heard them. Sometimes they were literally visually on the screen and you didn't see them. And there were a lot of scratch marks that you just gave up on following. And I'm not quite sure why that is. I don't know if you just have a lack of confidence with, you know, trying to blink to those areas and see where they are. But there were so many chases that you just completely dropped. Like, if I could go back and count how many dropped chases you had in this match where you started chasing somebody and it didn't result in at least a hit, I feel like it'd be like half the match. You spent half the match, like, chasing people and not even getting a hit out of it. Like, and a lot of that had to do with the tracking of, like, not hearing somebody right next to you, or you hit them, but then they ran away and you were just like, well, I don't know where they are, so I'm just going to go find somebody else. So you spent most of the match just, like, blinking back and forth and never actually downing someone until, like, 3 gens. I think it was 3 gens was your first hook. Because you just didn't commit to anybody, and a lot of that had to do with your tracking. So I don't know what's going on there. It maybe, like I said, maybe it's you need a better headset. Maybe you need to turn the TV up for the sound aspect. I think a lot of it looked like perhaps confidence, like seeing scratch marks or hearing Meg and not wanting to necessarily blink there in the case you're wrong on where they ended up being. But that practice is how you learn. That practice is how you learn. Failure is the best teacher. That is a Yoda quote. Well, he said it backwards, you know, because it's Yoda. But failure can be your best teacher. So what if you blink down where you're hearing the Meg and she's not actually where you thought she was? So what? So what? You know, like, who cares? Like, now you know that, you know, people don't like to path that way at that certain tile because you tried it. So I would start to work on your tracking, because the real reason you lost this match is not because you're bad at Nurse. You lost this because your tracking was bad, which is a universal killer thing. Universal killer thing. Best teacher, failure is... Yeah, that. The second thing is, and the biggest thing that I saw, is for some reason you don't want to utilize your second blink for any reason. And that's weird. You use your second blink to correct your mistakes, and you just wanted to hit everybody on your first blink for some reason. That's kind of unique. That's kind of unique to you. I've never ever seen a Nurse do that. Like, it's a very weird, odd habit to have that I've never seen anybody do. It's just wanting to hit everybody on their first blink, which is interesting. But yeah, don't do that. Half of the reason this killer is so powerful is because even while being able to phase through walls, she has a second phase that she can use to just correct any sort of misinterpretation of where the person was and hit them immediately. You do it a few times in this game, and it's really good, and it looks really cool, and they were good plays, but it only happens 3 times, like at a whole length of a match, which is not bueno. Not bueno. It is no bueno. So utilize your second blink to correct your own mistakes. You don't have to hit him on your first blink. Use your second blink. Yeah, exactly, Reaper. Exactly. The best way to train yourself is to never hit the first blink, like you did with the Jane. You did this with the Jane here. Here at the end. Where like you blink on her underneath the pier, and instead of you know, hitting her right away, you're like, oh, okay, I'll use my second blink just to make sure. Oh, I may not be able to find it quickly. I'm not even gonna replay it, even if I do. But like, that was a good play. That was a good play. Do that until you're good with her. Do that until you're good with her. Because you need to be utilizing your second blink as part of your repertoire. So, yeah.